mania, to name a few. Well, when you're involved in a sport where all eyes are on you and there's no place to hide, you learn pretty quick how important preparation is. So this brings me to my first lesson. There's no substitute for hard work. As a young student at Montclair State College, which is a small state school in the state of New Jersey, I was reading my Fellowship of Christian Athletes magazine, and I came across this biblical verse from Ecclesiastes 9:10, and it reads, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might." And that verse really resonated with me, and I'll tell you why. I was the youngest child in my family, so-called baby of the family, and I had two older brothers that took it upon themselves to make me tough. And so they would beat me, they would pound me, they would tease me and annoy me, and I would get so frustrated with my brother, I would say, "When I get you, I'm going to hit you with all my might." I was so angry, I wanted to punch him as hard as I could. So when I read that verse, I understood exactly what it was saying to me. Saying, "Jerry, no matter what you do in life, work at it with all your might, all the energy, all you got to be the best you can be." And I decided right then and there that verse was going to be my life verse. And I wanted to be the best student I could be, the best athlete I could be, the best son to my parents, the best friend, and as I advanced in life, the best husband to my wife, father to my children, coach to my athletes. Whatever I did, I wanted to be the best at it, and I wanted to work as hard as I could to achieve that goal. When I was coaching, prior to each off-season program, I would stand in front of my team and outline the off-season program for them so they would know what to expect over the next several months. And I'll share my philosophy, and I'll share this verse with them. And I would challenge them, guys, whatever we do this off-season program, whether you're lifting weights, conditioning, speed development, change direction, plyometrics, or meeting in the classroom with your coach, work at it with all you got so you can reach levels of excellence. I recall Coach Coughlin saying many times, "Nothing of value in life comes easy. If it's worth something, a price must be paid for it." If being a successful athlete, coach, employee, spouse, parent is of high value to you, then the price of hard work must be paid to achieve it. The athlete must push his body to levels he never thought he could go. The coach must spend time researching and planning to get the most out of his athletes. The student must read and study to advance his knowledge. The salesperson must dot every I and cross every T to make sure that what is communicated is correct, because the company's integrity depends upon it. Another biblical verse that spoke volumes to me from Proverbs 14:23 reads, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." In today's advanced era of communication, there are a lot of people talking out there how hard they're working. A lot of this going on. You know, whether it's YouTube videos, Instagram posts, Twitter statements, or quotes in the newspaper, people want to say how hard they're working. But I learned a long time ago that it's hard work and not talk that gets results. The great UCLA basketball coach John Wooden once said, "Why is it so hard for so many to realize that winners are usually the ones who work harder, work longer, and as a result, perform better?" There's no substitute for hard work. Upon graduating from Montclair State, my fiance, Ellen, and I, we had life all figured out. We were going to move to South Jersey, get a couple of teaching jobs, coach, invest in the kids at that school, find a house, a white picket fence, live happily ever after. Well, things didn't kind of work out that way. My first two jobs were in North Jersey, not South Jersey, and neither one of those positions was a very good experience for me. So early on, we learned that things don't always work out as you plan, and sometimes you have to midstream adjust. I decided to go to grad school, so we packed up all our belongings, headed south on 95 to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and that's where I began as strength and conditioning coach. After making stops in Oklahoma, Kansas, Boston, Jacksonville, New Orleans, it would be 22 years before we came back to New Jersey. Sometimes in life you have to midstream adjust. Life doesn't always work out the way you planned, as you expected. The deal doesn't always go down as you anticipated. Ellen and I, we firmly believe that God's plans are much better than our plans. And we've held on to this verse right here from Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Hey, we thought that moving to South Jersey was right for us. That was it. It's open country. It's lower cost of living. It'd be perfect for us. Well, God had different plans. Not that moving down there was bad, just that he had a different call on our lives. So as you go through life, don't get so locked into your goals that you can't see the forest beyond the trees. Okay? Don't get so locked into what you think is right. Be open to opportunities that come your way. Pray about it. Seek great advice. And then always remember, sometimes you have to midstream adjust. North Carolina was a great experience for me. Coach Mike Marks was the head strength and conditioning coach. And he took me on his staff. He allowed me to volunteer. Now, folks, when I tell you I knew nothing about strength and conditioning, I knew nothing about strength and conditioning. I really didn't. And so everything he said, I held on to. And I appreciate him so much for giving me that opportunity. I also had the privilege to work with some very special athletes. Michael Jordan, for one of them. Thank God I didn't hurt him in the weight room. I finished my degree at UNC, and then I was hired as an assistant strength conditioning coach at Oklahoma State. And there I had the privilege and honor to work with my professional daddy, John Stuckey. John was not only a great strength coach, he was a great man. And he invested in me. He taught me to be a better coach, a better husband, a better father, a better Christian. He significantly impacted my life. Well, one of the principles John taught me early on in our relationship, people do what you inspect, not what you expect. He would say to me, he says, Jerry, if you're expecting to squat 80% of their max in 5 reps, you better make sure they're doing 80% of their max for 5 reps. Everyone must be held accountable, from the least athletic guy on the roster to the star player. They need to know you're watching them and that you will call them to task when they fail to meet your expectations. So when I was with the New York Giants, I recall I signed a really good defensive back in free agency. And this guy was going to be one of our starters. Well, like all newcomers to an organization, he was doing everything perfect, the so-called good citizen, showing up on time, working hard, doing everything great. Well, after a couple of weeks, I noticed we're at a workout, and he leaves the room with the workout unfinished. So I said, all right, let me give him a little space, so he's coming back. Well, at some time, he didn't come back, so I go back to the locker room looking for him. I go to his locker, and I see his workout clothes on the floor in front of his locker. That's not very good. I go back to the showers. He's not in the showers. I work my way around to the bathroom, and there he is relieving himself on the stalls. And I tell him, I said, hey, you have some work to finish back in the weight room. I'll be waiting for you. Well, after some time, he came back a bit perturbed that I interrupted his time of meditation and called him on his exercise, but never again did I have to call him out or challenge him to finish his work hard, and do things as I expected. Everyone is accountable to someone, and everyone is vulnerable to cutting a corner or two when fatigue sets in or a task becomes difficult. I've been playing and say to me, Jerry, you don't need to worry about me. I'll get myself ready. I said, no, I do need to worry about you, because Your performance is my responsibility. Your failure to perform is going to come back on me. So no one should ever feel disrespected when your supervisor inspects your work to see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're doing your work and you're doing it well, there should be no problem. So if you're in a supervisory role now, or someday will be in a supervisory role, remember, people do what you inspect, not what you expect.